Alrighty, guys, got a hot list of topics for you today. So, COVID right now, COVID if it's going to happen to you, your business in the future, other businesses in the area, phone versus face-to-face consults, how it can really affect your closing rates, roles, meetings, and vision. And then we're also going to cover your team doing your sales bookings and the importance of checklists. So, guys, a little bit of a different episode. I'm going to cover like a couple of, key topics that I talked about with my like private clients today. Just to give you like a little bit of perspective, because I know that things that I'm talking to them about will be highly relevant to you. So, guys, like with COVID right now, obviously we've got a lot of places in Australia shut down, a lot of places, potentially teetering to shut down. So, the most important thing right now, if you're within COVID, is if I was in a business and it was in lockdown right now, I'd be making sure I market like really, really heavily organically until I had a working offer. Okay. And then once I had that working offer, I would be putting some paid money behind it. Now, guys, in COVID, where most people like really, really struggle, to be completely honest, is they think that their online training compared to their face-to-face training is superior. Now, when you think that, it makes it very, very hard to sell. Okay, so you have to very highly believe within your program that it is really good, right? So that you're in an optimal selling environment. Okay, that's why a lot of people, when a lot of gym owners, when kind of COVID happens or when they shut down, they'll automatically decrease their prices and they'll start to do a lot of free trials. It's because your internal belief doesn't kind of match what you're looking for. And I totally get it, guys. I totally get it. One of the things you need to make sure you do, and I always say to my guys, is would you buy your own program? Okay, if you wouldn't buy your own program, right? If you have a gym or a boot camp and you're in lockdown, if you wouldn't buy it yourself, you need to start there, and you need to start really, really quickly. Okay. Now, guys, obviously you need to look after your members, and looking after your members in an online environment where you don't get to see them face to face in comparison to an online environment is very different. Okay, it's different in so many aspects, okay, but you need to focus on customizing the touch points. So they'll have their session, Zoom, whatever it is, right? They're going to do some type of movement. You obviously need to make sure that they stay in habits. And guys, they're not going to want to, right? They have humans are creatures of habit, right? If I go to my gym, right, I used to train at a gym called Animal Kingdom down the road. When that gym got shut down, my habits changed. When people's habits change, they often become their worst selves, right? No human being likes change. Okay, so you need to work with them through that change and really, really assist them to make sure that you make it as easy and as seamless as possible. And they're not going to want to change. So that's where your coaching and your leadership really come into place. So you want to make sure they're being nice and consistent with their exercise, and it's going to take a lot more work than what it usually does, okay? Then also as well, guys, you need to make sure that you're looking after your trainers, okay? It's really, really important. We can't have a situation for when COVID ends that you've lost 2 or 3 trainers. So you need to really come from a leadership perspective, make sure they're getting what they need. And I know the business is in a really troubling situation, potentially for a lot of people watching or listening, but you need to always protect your staff. They are your family that grow your business, okay? And guys, I would go mainly organically if I had a gym right now. As I said, marketing kind of sales stuff, most people struggle closing over the phone if they're not really, really good at it, or they haven't had any practice. And then also you're, overcoming this internal belief that your product is weakened because it's not in the boot camp or the gym or whatever it might be. Okay, and that doesn't give you an optimal selling environment. So you need to really increase that belief. And the easiest way to do that is read your testimonials and your thank you messages every single day of people who are doing your online program right now and saying how good it is and saying how special it is and how much it's helping them. And that can help you overcome that belief mechanism that it's not as good as what face-to-face is. Now, I was having a really good chat with a client today who's very worried that their business will go into lockdown. It's kind of like, hey, the government can just be like, bang, you're in lockdown. I'm not going to go into COVID, what my thoughts are of it, but it's going to be something that's on a lot of people's minds who aren't in lockdown. When does it happen again? What happens again? And my advice to that person goes the same advice I gave last year in lockdown for our guys is make your online program so good now when you don't need it. So then when you do need it, you're able to charge people the same price, they get a better service and they're happier and you don't have as many drop-offs. Now, we had a client in Inner Circle. She has like 157 members and she only had 2 suspend in lockdown. Okay, because she planned for this like 8 weeks before. And my advice to this person was make your program so good that you would pay for it. Make it so good that you would pay $200 a week for it. And if you're not in lockdown right now, and if you are not preparing for the next lockdown, what happens and what that looks like, you need to start right now. Like, stop this video, stop this podcast, and just start preparing for it, right? What does the nutrition look like? What does the accountability look like? What does the training look like? How do you make it so valuable that you would pay $100, $200, $300 a week? There are some online coaches legitimately charging $300 a week or more. So you can do it, and that's going to make you a believer. And any program that you're building, guys, you want to make sure your team are involved, your trainers, right? So they believe in it too and they're ready to go. And then you also let your clients know what you're building and how exciting it is for an online option that they're going to have if they ever go overseas or travel, and also if COVID ever happens, and it makes it as seamless as possible. But you do the planning work now, not when the government says you're in lockdown for whatever reason that whatever reason or day that's going to pop up. And if you prepare for the future, guys, 2 really good things are going to happen. Firstly, you're going to be prepared for COVID, right? Makes everything easy transfer over, programming, nutrition, bang, done, pricing done, easy done, right? But then also as well, guys, you're going to build yourself a nice little tidy online business here, right? That then you can start to sell to anyone in the world. You guys know that my really perfect model now, if I had my time again, would be one gym that's highly profitable with an online business off the side, with a couple of other profit layers. There's previous videos and podcasts on that, but you'll be able to profit $50,000 to $75,000 a month with the right model, right? And if you do that, guys, and you have a nice online program that you would buy yourself, you're going to set yourself up really, really well for success. Okay, so if COVID in the future, if you're not in lockdown, you start preparing for it today and make your program so good people will feel stupid if they say no, right? It's a key to sales. You have an offer so good they feel stupid saying no, you're going to, always do really well. You're going to have a kick-ass program that people want to stay on as well. Now, guys, there's been a couple of issues, obviously, gyms opening up in your area, and I just want to kind of cover a little bit of a situation, my belief on that. Now, guys, there's always going to be competition. So the biggest competition for you guys right now isn't actually gyms in the local area. It's going to be online, more online training options that are cheaper. They have better coaches in them. They can pay their coaches hundreds of thousands of dollars to run these kick-ass sessions. And then there's obviously all the virtual training that's coming out. But the key is, guys, if you're ever worried about a competitor, online program, anything like that, you really need to make your program so good, right, that you refuse to be denied. Okay, so often, guys, if there's competitors or online, or you feel hey, I'm worried about this gym or whatever it is, it's usually an internal belief because you need your business to be better and it has to be better. Now, if you sit there and there's 5 gyms all 100 meters away, and you are better than all of them. Toe to toe, you will sit with them and you'll go, my trainers are better, my marketing's better, my sales better, I'm a better leader, our nutrition's better, we've got better support, better accountability. You won't be scared of anyone, right? And it's a really, really powerful position to be in. It's in a confident position. So I want you to make sure that if you're ever worried, it's probably a time to have a look at your own program, right? And think, is your program the absolute best program in the planet? Will you go toe to toe with anyone in the fitness industry and go, let's do it, baby? My trainers against your trainers, let's rock and roll. And you only do that by doing a ton of work on your internal systems, right? Your marketing systems, your sales systems. But you become the biggest, baddest player on the field at that stage where you're whatever, I want more gyms to come. Their gyms will drive past my gym, they'll hear how good I am, we'll take all their members, whatever, right? And if you can be in that position, guys, through a ton of hard work, a ton of systemization, working on your team, becoming an absolute savage, you'll do really, really well in business and you'll never be worried about those competitors down the road. Just a fun little fact for you. One of my private clients, absolute legend, was doing sales, right? So he was closing about 31% over the phone. I go, cool. You have a gym. Why aren't you closing face to face? He didn't really have a valid reason, so we changed over face-to-face, and his closing percentage went from 31% all the way up to 75%. Now, guys, you can close 75% over the phone, get credit card details, but I'm telling you from someone who's done it, having a gym with barbells that you can throw a rock through the window, you have your testimonial wall, you are giving yourself an optimum selling environment, okay? If you talk to anyone on the planet, if they would prefer to close face-to-face with someone on Zoom or over the phone, 99.9999999% of people, if they had the chance, will close face-to-face, right? Because it overcomes the trust issues so quickly, right? You bring them into your facility, you have the authority with like all your testimonial walls, and it's like a real place. And, you know, there's just so many benefits that closing face-to-face over the phone in comparison to over the phone. That's absolutely crazy that people aren't using this face-to-face consultation more. And I know it's like common sense. Like, it seems like common sense to me because we only close face-to-face. There is a downside when COVID happens. Like in our gyms, we weren't very good at closing over the phone. But guys, like, make sure that if you want to go really far in your fitness business and you want to have multiple sales reps, I would highly recommend these face-to-face consultations. Not saying that you can't do really well over the phone, because my really good friend Brad crushes it, okay? But I'm really big on having multiple sales reps, not one, okay? So anything better than one is two, anything better than two is three. And you're able to coach your trainers on how to close your offers in a face-to-face environment. They can do it before classes, after classes, and things like that. Now, guys, if you haven't done a meeting with your team, like all your staff, about their roles and their visions, I want you to, on the vision of the company, I want you to make sure you book that in over the next 30, 60 days. In that, you'll clarify their roles, what their key expectations are, what they do to help the company grow. And then you'll have a big piece on the vision, where you guys are going, who you're helping, all that kind of exciting stuff. Now, we have really set scripts on that, but I want you just to make sure that you get that done. If you have any questions, reach out to me. It's very, very exciting to do that stuff, and I know a lot of businesses don't do it enough. We used to do it every 6 months at our business. When we were growing super rapidly, we had to do it every 3, but I want to make sure you guys tick that off, and I'm happy to help anyone if they contact me any means possible with how we set up those meetings and things like that. Guys, just remember, like, a lot of people, when they start to scale out their business, they'll get their team to do like the triage calls or consultation calls to get someone booked in. So, you know, you get a lead off Facebook, you've got your automations with ACR running off the back, and there's still some phone calls that you have to make because you want optimum results to get those people booked in who don't reply to texts and emails. Just part of a fitness business, right? Just remember, guys, a couple of key stats when you've got anyone doing these consultations or triage calls, whatever you call them. On average, 9.3 dials will get one pickup. On that one pickup, it will then take 7 to 10 minutes, which means roughly they should get one booking every 20 minutes. If they call for 1 hour, that should be 3 consultations booked and confirmed within the next 48 hours. Now, we can talk about scripting, time management, how they be more efficient. Just work off those numbers. 9.3 calls is one pickup. One pickup takes between 7 and 10 minutes to get a consult to attend, booked in over the next 24, 48 hours. If they call for an hour, they should get 3 bookings, okay? I know those stats because I managed a sales team when we went from like 500 to 1,200 members. I manage them every day. I know their numbers like the absolute back of my hand because we track them every day. You don't have to track them like we did. You can just trust me. It's been tried and tested over many, many years. Many sales funnels, many consultations, all that kind of stuff. And guys, if you're not using the power of automations these days with like ACR, just make sure you reach out to me about that. It'll probably save you about 30 to 40% of your sales times because it's all automated, apart from the calls, of course. I don't believe that any automation system will ever trump phone calls. So your automation system that you use with ACR is a tool to help you get better results. It is not what gets you optimum results. You still must get on the phone and make sure that you call your leads who don't book in. Good business fundamentals. And guys, just lastly, if you've got any full-time, part-time, casual staff, okay, people within your business who are doing things outside of the training sessions, I want you to make sure they have an operations checklist, right? What they need to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, each day, what they need to do weekly, what they need to do monthly, and then that you have videos and documentation on that. So that's something we're working a lot with people in the inner circle. Obviously, they're growing super quickly and they're bringing on staff, and I just keep having to very friendly remind them checklist, video, to make your life easy. And what this checklist system does is they wake up, they know what they're going to have to do each day outside of the sessions. The videos mean they don't ask you stupid questions on how to do it, right? They can watch the video. They're still going to probably ask you some stupid questions and feedback along the way. That's why we love staff. That's why we love humans. You ask stupid questions too, is that way you can be there to support and assist them as best you can. Everyone in your business has a checklist, right? That's a rule checklist manifesto. It's a really good book. Make sure you check it out. So guys, a little bit of a different topic today, kind of covered a varied range of things for you guys. So I hope you got a little bit of value. Just remember to reach out to me, especially if you're struggling in COVID, if you're scared about what's happening in the future with COVID, if you're having any issues with staffing or marketing or sales. Always love to chat to you guys on social media. So just reach out to me by any means possible. And just remember, this month we're giving away, for one person, 1 free year within the Inner Circle. All you've got to do is take a photo of my video, my wife's mum's house at the moment, until we move to our new house, which will probably be Saturday. It's still getting built. Don't have my desk yet, but I'm excited for that. But he's got to screenshot it. All the podcast episode, just tag Jimmy_Pomponio. As always, guys, much love to you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. I hope you get some value from this free content that I give you guys. I try to do it every day, Monday to Friday. Haven't missed many days recently. And just remember, if you ever want anything covered within the podcast or any videos, just make sure you let me know, and I'll make sure that gets done for you as quickly as possible. Thank you, guys.